Hello, world. It's Saints Unscripted again.
Hello,
David, why do you always start like that?
What's wrong with that?
You gotta make some new content. New
when
ideas.
you are greeting someone, you say hello, and I'm greeting the world.
Not
Hello,
always.
world.
You can greet, and we could do different languages. We could do whatever we
Guten
want.
Tag.
We can do hola, 안녕하세요,
Tomo arigato.
ni hao. What languages
That's
do
thank
you
you.
know?
English.
Okay.
What is in English? It's hello, world.
That was funny.
We have Aaliyah with us today, and Aaliyah's awesome because everyone's awesome. We actually don't know anything about
That sounds
Aaliyah.
horrible. Aaliyah's awesome because everyone's awesome.
I was gonna get around to the reasons why Aaliyah's awesome.
All right, redeem yourself.
Okay, we're here with Aaliyah, and Aaliyah is great. But the truth is that Mimi and I don't know hardly anything about Aaliyah. We do know that Aaliyah is from Virginia, and she's got an incredible story to tell.
Mm-hmm.
And you are a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, correct?
I am. Correct.
But you haven't always been.
That's correct.
What?
So how did you get from not being a member to being a member?
It was an interesting story. Or experience.
Wait, I feel like we gotta get to know you more though. So
Okay,
you're from
okay.
Virginia. How
Yes.
old are you? What are you doing in life right now?
I am 17 years old.
Okay.
17 and a half. If you want to be specific, but I don't really want to.
Yes. Specificity is good.
Okay. I'm from Virginia. I'm from Roanoke, so Southwest Virginia.
Okay.
We have like the Blue Ridge Mountains right up there, which are part of the Appalachian.
Blue Ridge Mountains.
Okay, this is interesting because she says, say the mountain range again.
Appalachian?
Appalachian.
Yeah.
Are the Blue Ridge Mountains the Appalachians or Appalachians?
Well,
Same
it's
mountain
like-
range?
Yeah, it's basically the same.
So when John Denver is singing about Blue Ridge Mountains, he's singing
Who
about
is
the
that?
Appalachian.
No, it's the
Range.
Appalachian Mountains.
Appalachians. Yeah, okay. It's all coming together.
What do you like to do?
What do I
in
like
your
to
free
do?
time?
I like what I like in my free time that I don't have. I like to run and just like be outside and do different things like that.
Bless your soul.
Yeah.
I hate running so much.
I
Me
know.
too, but it's really good because I like eating.
See, that's the thing. Even people who like running hate running.
Yeah.
Like nobody likes running. They
That's-
just do it because they know it's good for them.
It's a lot of
Except
wisdom
Rachel.
Wait, I don't run.
Oh yes, you
I
bike.
bike. And everybody likes biking.
Exactly. Well, I don't.
Oh, I like biking.
Biking, like mountain biking, it seems like the scariest thing ever.
Okay,
like
That
going
would be
over
scary.
rocks and stuff.
I crashed really hard, kind of lost some confidence.
Anyway, we're getting off
Yeah.
topic.
Yeah, I like to run.
And eat.
Yeah, and eat.
And eat.
Did she say that, or did you?
No, no,
I hate running so much.
I
Me
know.
too, but it's really good because I like eating.
See, that's the thing. Oh
said
my
I-
gosh.
I said I hate running, but I like eating.
Okay.
Tell you like eating. Jeez.
I thought you said that.
I mean,
Oh
I'm
my
alive,
gosh.
so I think I do.
That would be so mean.
But yeah.
Just starting from the very beginning, like, how did your whole journey with the church begin?
So my journey began with my friend. Her name is Julia. She is she is a member of the church, and we had been friends for a while. We got to know each other in middle school. Like really became good friends when we were in 8th grade, and then we stayed friends, obviously. And we became pretty close. And then when I was in 9th grade, we had our history class together, and so one day we were in class, and the teacher was talking about like different religions and different things like that, and just kind of naming them off. And I don't know if it was her, or if it was if it was the teacher, just one of the students, but somebody named like Mormons, something like that. And she's like, oh yeah. And then Julia to me, she was like, oh yeah, that's me. I'm a Mormon. And I was like, oh, I have no idea what that means.
Way to go for her! Like that's awesome. Just bringing it up like that. That's cool.
I mean, I knew she was a Christian. I mean, I figured she was. She celebrated Christmas and different things like that. But I didn't know what Mormons were, and I had felt like I had a pretty good understanding, like all the different denominations and stuff like that. But I'd never ever heard of Mormons in my life. I was like, what in the world? But I never said anything to her. And then I was like, I just made a mental note in my head, just like find out what that is later. And then it might have actually been like that day, like later in that class when we weren't doing anything, I kind of just looked it up. I was like, what are Mormons? I just kind of looked at it and found like some different websites, found like the church website and just some different like things that were, pretty accurately portrayed the church. And I really liked it. The first thing that I read, well, one of the first things was just about like the like how instead of like the Holy Trinity, where God and Jesus and the Holy Ghost are all like the same being. They had the Godhead where it was three different, and so that kind of resonated with me because that was something I always had a hard time understanding.
So what was like your religion before?
I was Baptist.
Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
I didn't go to church I didn't really go to church till I was in 4th grade. But we went pretty regularly at first. Then after a while, we just kind of like went downhill. But and just in attendance. But I mean, we still believe in everything.
Okay. Cool.
But that was just something that kind of resonated with me because I was like, that makes a lot more sense because that just like how could Christ be here on earth like suffering and then also be like at the top like wherever
praying to himself for some reason,
praying to himself
that.
like we watched this movie where Christ was like on the cross and he was like saying like Father forgive them, and I was like, well, why, like that doesn't make sense if he's the same, if it's the same thing. But so then
Smart cookie.
Yeah,
it's good thinking.
I agree.
All right, continue.
But then I kept reading and I read like you don't drink coffee or smoke or drink alcohol or anything like that. And obviously I didn't like smoke or drink alcohol because I was 15. But but that was just something I just never really like planned on doing.
Yeah.
And I also I didn't even like soda. I didn't like coffee or tea or soda. I didn't like lemonade or anything. I'm pretty bland.
Do you drink
water?
Just water?
It is.
Water makes you weak. Water is for washing blood off that uniform, and you don't get no blood on my uniform.
Water and milk.
Josh, pour me a glass of milk! Why are you yelling at me?
Milk. I was going to ask about that.
I really like chocolate milk.
Which is mostly water
Oh my
anyway.
gosh,
Yeah.
have you tried the chocolate milk at BYU?
No, I haven't. I need to.
You will die. While you're here, you have to. So good. And there's a cookies and cream milk.
Okay,
There
get
is?
that one.
Yes, it's so good. He introduced me. It's like a milkshake, but it's just milk.
If you go to the
You will
BYU
die.
Creamery, it's under the title's actually instant diabetes. That's what.
Oh my gosh,
for.
yeah. You
Is
can
it
only
really?
drink.
No.
Oh.
so you didn't have any problem with
Yeah.
coffee and
Wait, so-
alcohol.
Yeah, I didn't have any problem with that, and I was like, oh,
Okay.
that makes a lot. Like, I could be a member of this church like that. That's pretty reasonable. It wouldn't be like I had to give up all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I just at the time it just felt like really like this is where I should be, because it just like, it made more sense. It felt more correct.
Let me say something though, because
Yeah.
you said something really important. Well, two things. You said one, it made sense, and two, it felt correct.
Yes.
And in the church we teach like if you want to know the Book of Mormon is true, you need to read it and pray about it. But oftentimes people just think like just pray about anything and you'll get the answer. But like no, like you need to study it and then pray about it, and the Spirit will testify both to your mind and your heart. So it's interesting that you say it made sense in my mind and it felt right in my heart.
Yeah.
That's a good combo. I like it. Keep going.
Yeah. In the past, I kind of like I had started wondering like about the Baptist church. I was like, what separates that from other churches like the Catholic Church or the Methodist Church or the Presbyterian Church? Like if they're all different and they claim that they're right, but then they also say like my preacher once he had said like everybody like all the Christian churches are going to heaven, so it doesn't really matter. It was like, well, why are there different churches if it doesn't matter? And so I kind of like looked into like what they believe and different things and like what sets them apart, but none of that just really felt like it just didn't make sense. But then that was like that church was the first one that actually like made sense, and the only one. But I didn't really do anything then because I was 15. I was a freshman in high school, and I was like, it'd be a little bit difficult because to be a member of the church, I couldn't even drive, so it wasn't like I could take myself to whatever. But I thought about that. I was like, this is something that not now, but later in life I could take care of. Or join, I guess. I kind of sat on it for a few months through that summer. My Julia, she went out that summer and took, they went on a family trip because their brother was going out to BYU.
Oh, cool.
And he's there now. But they went on a trip, and she like had pictures of like the different temples, different things like that. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And we talked a little bit then, but it just never really did anything. And then that October, or it was November, she went with the youth group. They went on a temple trip to the Washington D.C. temple, which was about 5 hours from where we live. And that's like before it closed down for renovations. That was like our main, like the one that we went to most of the time. Yeah. And she posted a picture of it on her Snapchat story. And I kind of looked at it, and like, of course, I'd seen like the picture of the Salt Lake Temple before when she had been out here, but I just never really like knew a whole lot about it. And then she posted a picture, and a couple of her cousins and friends who had been on the trip that was following on Snapchat, they also had pictures of it, and I was just like, wow, that's really pretty. And then I just kind of like thought about it. I thought about like where I was and everything, and it was 8 days that I thought about that. And then a week and a day later.
Several days later.
I was just kind of thinking, I was like, you know what? Like, before I had said, like, not now, but later in life. Like, now is later in life. So, yeah.
8 days later.
Yeah. And so then I messaged her, and I was like, Julia, I think I want to join your church. Yeah, and of course, you tell a member of the church that they're gonna be pretty ecstatic.
That's like the best message to get. Yeah.
And she was pretty excited. And then 62 days later, I was baptized.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so what was the next step? Like, once you told Julia, like, what was the progress from there?
Well, she told me, she was like, are you serious? Like, that's awesome. And she was like, well, if you want to meet with the missionaries, like, we can do that if you're open to that. And if you want, I can give you a Book of Mormon. So I was like, yeah, I want to meet with the missionaries, and I'll take a Book of Mormon. If you have, like, a spare one, which obviously she does. But,
Boy, do we.
Oh, yeah. And then that Wednesday, she gave me the copy of it, and I actually have it with me, but it's not like with me, but it's outside. But she gave it to me, and she just had like this nice little note and everything, and it really touched me then. And then we had the first discussion with the missionaries. And
where did you do it? Was it at your house?
It was at
or?
Julia's house.
Okay.
Yeah, and we did it in the first. They walked in. There was Elder Howe and Elder Grover, and I was like, when it was Elder Grover, I thought Grover like from Sesame Street. Which I was like, how coincidental is this? Because Grover was my favorite character from Sesame Street.
I love that.
I was like, this is just like this. Like these are signs. And then we had some discussions with the missionaries.
Cool.
And then eventually they were like, "Do you want to get baptized?" And I was like, I was waiting for you to ask me this question. And then I got baptized in January of 2018. And it was January 13th, 2018.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
wait, we've talked about this.
Yeah.
That's the day that I got married.
Yeah.
So that's crazy. I do remember we've messaged before. And then, but another thing I wanted to ask you too was, what did your like parents and family think about everything?
It was an interesting experience. At first, well, it was funny because I didn't even tell my mom about the first meeting with the missionaries. I told her, because I set up the day, I was like, because I was really afraid for how she would react, because I thought it would be just really hard to do. And so I told her I planned this whole thing out that we were going to have a discussion with the missionaries, and then after that we were going to go rock climbing. So I told my mom, I was like, Julie and I are going to go hang out at her house for a little bit, and then we're going to go rock climbing. You can pick us up and we're going to go rock climbing. And so during that time that we were hanging out, we were having a discussion with the missionaries.
But that's still hanging out,
Yeah,
technically.
I mean,
That's
Just hanging out with the missionaries.
Yeah. At first they were just like, I don't know how I feel about this. And then after that they were like, no, I really don't like this. And then they were pretty like, I don't want to say anti, but anti. And they were pretty against it. But there were a couple times they were like, no, you can't get baptized. And I was like, well, darn. But I mean, eventually, of course, they relented and I was baptized. But yeah, it was, over time, it's been not as difficult, but
okay.
yeah.
See, that's great to hear, because we have people message us all the time who are in your same exact situation where they're in high school still and they want to get baptized, but their parents are kind of weird about it. So what would your advice be to people in that situation?
I think that if you find yourself in a situation like that, I think if you just pray to Heavenly Father and you ask Him to just help you in the hard times, because obviously that's not necessarily a situation you want to be in, and just pray to be to help him carry you through your hard times, and to just know that he has a perfect plan for you. And even if it seems like you're never going to get your wish and you're never going to be able to get baptized right now, that it will happen for you, and you'll be like one day that will be able to happen, and it's just all part of Heavenly Father's plan. And he has a perfect plan, and that's going to lead you to the maximum amount of happiness, even if it means not joining the church right now. Maybe it was better just it makes you, it's just a better opportunity to do it, in 2 years, like once you turn 18 or once you're out of the house or different things like that. So yeah.
Good advice.
Yeah. That's
Solid advice. Yeah, I like how you said that sometimes it doesn't happen according to, what you want, but in the Lord's timing, it will happen.
Well, I got baptized, and it was really cool because, like, I was baptized on January 13th, and then a few weeks later, I realized that's the 13th day of the month, and 13 has always been my lucky number. A couple months later, I was looking about, like, the, random holidays or whatever, like National Dog Day or Sibling Day or whatever, and then I looked, and I was like, I looked for my birthday, and I don't even remember what it was, but I looked for the day I got baptized, and it was January 13th is known as National Make Your Dream Come True Day.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna start crying.
Yeah.
That's so
Yeah. And I was like, that's perfect.
Oh my gosh. I love that. That is perfect.
Yeah.
I think that's like the most perfect ending we could come to.
I know. This is like a Hallmark movie. They should make a Hallmark movie about this.
They should. Yeah.
You could make it because
I
you
could
do that.
Yes. And I could star. Yeah.
And Mimi's an actress.
Yes.
Char, edit, everything.
I know, and I'll help.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So then, so now you're looking at coming to BYU and everything's good.
Yeah.
What's been like your favorite part about being a member of the church these last couple months?
I think just like the amount of happiness that the church brings, because you have like hard times in our lives where we think, if only I had money I could be happy, if only I had I have to work so much, I could have so much more time to pursue what I want to do, or if my grades were better, if I was better at taking tests, and like that all could make us happy, but that's just that's not gonna be like eternally happy. Like if you want money will run out, and you just need more money. But what won't run out is the blessings of the gospel, and those will be eternal, and they occur both spiritually and temporally. So what you want, and if you put the gospel first and your faith first, you'll have the blessings of what's really important, of being being like your salvation, and just being able to have like those blessings in membership in the church. And so you'll be blessed then, and you'll just be like happy on the inside. And then when you also with that, after the blessings, the spiritual blessings, you have temporal blessings, like getting good grades, or getting into your dream college, or finding yourself with a lot of money, or different things like that. And that really, I think just that knowledge and seeing that play out in my life just is the best part. So yeah.
Obeying God's commandments is a good idea. Lots of blessings, both spiritual ones and temporal ones. That's awesome. Well, Aaliyah, thank you so much.
You're such a
Thank you.
dad.
I know. You literally are our dad. It's
High
so
fives are a dad thing
Yes.
to do.
the way you did it, like.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Good job, kiddo.
Oh, you just. Oh, I know. I'm sorry. Well, I want to give you a hug. Thank you for coming on. This has been such an amazing story, and
Thank you.
I know it's gonna help so many people. We get so many messages about this same exact thing. So thank you for being willing to come on and do this. And
Thank you for having me.
yeah, we've loved meeting you.
Yeah. Subscribe to Saints Unscripted for great videos.
Yeah.
Yay!
Yeah.
Yes. Do you have like an Instagram that you want us to shout out or anything?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. It's A11113.
Yes. So hit up Aaliyah on Instagram. She got great posts. We've been messaging. Like
Yeah.
I made the connection. Yes. So thanks so much for watching. Give us a thumbs up if you liked it, and we'll see you guys soon. Bye.